Who are you? Are you trying to look like a good person? Or are you actually a good person? Right? Like, I feel like we should base our lives more on who we become when we are 90 years old, more than how many things we've acquired when we're 90 years old. I think right now we live in a world of materialism where everybody just thinks the man with the most things at the end of his life wins. This isn't a game where you can win or lose. The person who wins is the person who's the happiest. The person who wins is the person who I feel like is the most proud of yourself at the end of your life. I think we focus so much on trying to get the $1 million, and it's weird because everyone wants the $1 million, but it's not your goal. Like, what do you think? Who do you want to be? Why do you want the $1 million? Why do you want to become a multi-billion-dollar, man? Or like, why does any of that matter? Why does collecting money matter? Because you can say you did it. Because it makes you feel more powerful. Does it make you feel better than other people? Does it make you feel more of a man, more of a woman? Does it make you think that you're, I don't know. I don't see, I'm someone that's always been at the bottom financially, right? I'm living a lower class society, and it's always been like that for me. But things are changing in my life. But whether things change or not, whether I acquire a lot of money, a little bit of money, just enough to survive, it doesn't even matter. Because it's more about who I'm trying to be. Because right now, even though I don't have a lot of money, I'm a completely different person than I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 5 days ago. I evolve every single day, and I get better every single day. And I think we as a society need to focus on trying to be somebody instead of trying to be somebody with a lot of things. Because you can have a lot of things, but does that mean you know anything? Like, have you built up a lot of knowledge? Have you built up a lot of love? Have you built up a lot of self-confidence? Have you built up a lot of self-experience? Have you built up a lot of, I don't know, just trying things, doing what you love, figuring out who you are as a person? Have you done a lot of work in consciousness, meditation, spirituality? Do you have a really good connection with your family, with your children? See, an entrepreneur will say that, that an entrepreneur might be able to buy everything for their child, but personal time is what really matters with a child. Adults care about the money, but there's something that you get from actually being with your children. And a lot of times, poor families are more with their children than rich families, because poor families are usually at home. Maybe they have a job, or maybe they, get a welfare check, like a disability check, or a SSI check, or food stamps, things like that. And it's like, I think that what this really is about is just finding out who you are. If you are evolving, then that means you're on the right path. But if you look back 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and you find that you're basically the same person, then something's wrong. Then you're not actually progressing. You're not actually getting wealthy. You've developed, like, a lot of people can say they're rich because they have a lot of money, but the way I look at it is a lot of rich people are poor. A lot of rich people are poor. Think about that for a second. Two of the same sentences, but with two different meanings. A lot of rich people are poor. Meaning there's a lot of poor people in society that live poor, they have no money, but they're fucking rich. They probably feel more rich than an actual rich man, because the other part of the sentence is, same sentence, there's a lot of rich people who are poor. There's a lot of people with a lot of money a lot of fucking wealth, but they're poor as fuck mentally. They're miserable. They're sad. They're unhealthy. They have no confidence. They have no wisdom. They have no experience. They've experienced in one thing, making money, but that's not life. They know nothing about life. They know nothing about reality, their place in the universe. They think their place is to make money, but what are you doing with the money? The thing is, reality is more complex than we see. And I think we need to focus on who we want to be instead of how many things we're trying to get. Because life isn't about things. If you think it is, then you're lost. Because what happens when you are on your deathbed? Are you going to be, I'm pretty sure we'll be more, and everyone says, you'll regret the things you didn't do, and that's true, right? But at the same time, you're going to end up regretting the times you didn't spend with your family. You're going to regret if you're one of those type of parents that didn't really see your child grow up, wasn't there for their first step, their first word, their this, their that, these moments, then you're going to regret that too. Everyone will die with regret. It's just the way life is. And I try to minimize that regret by just being free. Because, it really goes back to, a lot of people believe that the rich are happier than the poor. And I don't believe that. I think the rich have more dopamine than the poor. So it's like you have sex. It's dopamine rush. You do drugs, cocaine, sugar. The dopamine rushes. Methamphetamine, dopamine rush. And now that's more complicated than just dopamine. But what I'm saying is, drugs release dopamine, and drugs make you feel like you're on top of the world, and they make you feel happy. So if I gave you, and so many people say that they were happy when they were poor, but they're happier now that they're rich. And yeah, you probably are. Probably because you have more dopamine now that you're rich. Getting rich making money, winning the lottery, getting your paycheck at the end of the week, they all have the same thing in common with drugs. They're all dopamine. If you take, if I give you a drug right now, you're going to say, holy shit, I was happier now than I was before the drug. That's just drugs. It's all dopamine.